Good evening, viewers. We are back live from Tembei TV. Your host is Wekesa Eric, and our guest is Dr. David Matsanga. Today, we are discussing the current affairs. Obviously, today we had a judgment in the Supreme Court concerning the BBI. And it appears some argue that the ruling has brought BBI to an end. There are those who still believe that the judgment resuscitated the BBI, therefore it can be given another lifeline. So we want our guest in the studio will help us to understand some of the legal terms and legal the way scholars converse through those issues to arrive at the judgment. There are those who just saw there was 5 against 2 and they don't understand what that means. The issue of being unconstitutional, so does it mean did they throw everything away? Or was there anything that was salvaged in the process? So we need to listen to the summary of the judgment. Then I will welcome our guest to guide us in the process. So tune in. Let's hear your comments in the comment section. Your informative argument will help us. Kuna watu huwa wanakuwa na matusi. It doesn't help. Let's have a constructive discussion. This is our country. Whether you feel the loss of BBI or you feel the ruling has favored you, be nice to every Kenyan as we discuss this issue. So let me just play a short clip on what was the summary of the ruling. Then I will allow our guest to proceed.
Steps for amendment as prescribed by the two superior courts below are not applicable in Kenya under the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Number 2, the President is not permitted to initiate constitutional amendments or changes through a popular initiative route provided under Article 257 of the Constitution. That being the case, the Constitution bill does not pass muster as a popular initiative under the provisions of Article 257 of the Constitution. 3, the second schedule of the amendment bill is unconstitutional for want of public participation, a constitutional obligation that flows from Articles 10(2)(a) and 89(7)(a) of the Constitution. 4, civil proceedings cannot be instituted in any court against the President or the person performing the functions of the President during their tenure of office in respect of anything done or not done contrary to the Constitution. Issue number 5, there was no obligation on IEBC to ensure that the promoters of the impugned popular initiative complied with the requirements of public participation before determining the amendment bill. In addition, there was public participation with respect to the amendment bill, save with respect to the second schedule of the impugned bill. Issue number 6, IEBC and the requisite quorum to undertake the verification of signatures in support of the amendment bill under Article 257(4) of the Constitution. 7, I find the question raised regarding the interpretation of Article 257(10) of the Constitution on whether or not it entails or requires that all specific proposed amendments to the Constitution should be submitted as separate and distinct referendum questions was not ripe for determination. And lastly, on costs, this being a public interest matter, I find each party should bear their own costs of this litigation and also the other courts.
Yeah, Dr. Matsanga, what does this judgment mean to Honorable Raila Odinga, President Uhuru Kenyatta, and then the other side of the political divide, Team KKA, Kenya Kwanza?
First of all, I don't know whether you are hearing me clearly.
You are clear. You can begin.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, viewers and those watching me. Since 2015, I have been one of the few people who has said Kenya needed a redemption strategy. Those who have been watching me on TV will know that I've been saying it time and time again. The healing process. The healing process is when you get accountability, truth-telling, reconciliation, restitution, reparation, and the reconciliation, which adds up to healing, a package of a strategy to heal a nation. Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta had 9 points. And I want Kenyans who are watching me tonight, wherever you are, if those 9 points, surely, and look at God, look in the sky, and tell me that those are 9 points are not Kenyan 9 points. They are not the ones that disturb this nation. Tell me that among the 9 points, the corruption is not a disturbing factor. Ethos, ethnic tension, violence after every 5 years of election, anticipated nationalism, which is lacking, patriotism lacking, so many things. So they looked at all those which form what we call a package. They might have named it BBI, but I'm now telling you officially it is a redemption strategy. 1, today's ruling, I think I should be congratulated more as a scholar of constitutionalism, internationalism, and political science. On 21st of May, 2021, I wrote a paper. And the Chief Justice and his judges should thank me because they have used my paper. They have used my paper. And I want, Wekesa, I'm going to give you the link. It is on Capital FM, Capital Talk, radio. It is there. The paper is there when I said the judges, the 5 judges, erred. They lied. And from that paper, you can see, I, Dr. David Matsanga, I told the world, and I've been saying it, there is no constitution in the world, even in Britain where I stay, where I've stayed for 37 years. There is no constitution which has an article which is not amended. No. All articles in the Constitution are the same. They are amendable. I want that. I want that. I was happy. There's only one judge who messed his life. I don't know where he studied the law. You can't. That is, and I am not going to criticize him. He's my friend. Ibrahim Mohammed. He said there is something to do with the basic law. There's no basic. No. Any article in the constitution of any country. I have the constitution of Kenya here. I have the Constitution of Republic of Uganda. Some people think that I don't know. Maybe I've not gone to school. I've gone to school. I can lecture Harvey. Harvey has got one small degree of law from Nairobi University. He doesn't have 3, 4 like the one like I have. He wastes time with people. This Constitution and this Constitution, these articles, all of them can take you to jail. All of them. There is none which is superior and there is none which is lower. So there, Raila and Uhuru, they won. We have won one battle. I have won one battle. And the Kenyans will thank me in the future. Do you know the battle we have won? That anybody, Wekesa, anybody listening to me right now, whether you are Ruto, whether you are who, whether you are supporter of Ruto and you can die for him, you can go and collect 1 million signatures and open up an article which you feel you are not happy with. You can even collect the signatures and say the whole constitution, I want it out. Umesikia Wekesa? Umesikia? Watu wajue. Let people know. Forget about this. Hoi, 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 ho. We are happy. We have what? What have you? We, the Azimio, the people of Uhuru and Raila Amolo Odinga and other Kenyans and the millions of Kenyans have won. Now they can come and change that constitution, which was cut and pasted. The Kenyan constitution was cut. This one here was cut and pasted from an American constitution. At least this one here was Ugandan made. People sat down, but that one, Mr. Ekuro Ekot just quote articles from South African constitution, pasted them here. For example, you have a Senate. What do you pay a Senate for? What is difficult in this Kenya that cannot be solved by Parliament? What is it? Why do they take your tax, your money every evening? Why every sitting? What is it that you have here? How can you have ministers who don't come to Parliament to answer questions? Is that a constitution that you can say it is a good one? Yes. All articles here are basic. They are basic. They are the same. That's point number one. And for me, I want to tell the truth. I told my people, the people handling this, the secretariat people did not, some of them did not want us to come there. They should have got free advice that when you are doing constitutional changes, you have to be careful that you don't give out what you don't know. It is unfortunate that the people, after collecting all the things, the president did very well to put a committee. He's entitled to. But he should have left it after that. That one I want to concede that he might have not received proper guidance from his legal team, that they should have left an ordinary citizen like Raila Odinga without involving the president. That there we have to agree. But it is not, today's day means you are going to revive the BBI. BBI will be revived as soon as Raila Amolo Odinga gets power. The first thing you will work on is to revive the BBI you have. You can now open it nicely. With a lesson is learned that a citizen anywhere from Bungoma, from Kwale, from Turkana, from Masabit, from Garissa, from Moyale, from Kisii, from Mombasa can come and say, no, that article is not very good for us. You can open it. Okay, as far as the other, you can, of course, you have listened to all these rulings. You cannot accuse the president while he's in power, either in his private capacity or in his, that one is an impossible. People agreed. You cannot also, you can, and you cannot again ask to do the schedule number 2 of saying constituencies and then go ahead to name constituencies. Because that was an error. Those are 2 things that they found out, which made that almost all judges, 6 of them down, they touched on those 2 issues, which passed. And therefore, the BBI, with that main procedure, BBI is not because it has no material. It had material, but the procedure is what led the BBI to be stopped today. But it is not stopped, it will be revived. It has revived the article, the opening article, the first ruling, which was unanimous. Not unanimous, 6 out of 7, 6 judges agreed that there is no basic structure in Kenya. You cannot use it to stop anybody from opening the constitution. Therefore, these constitutions are not static. They are not stones. They are dynamic. They can be opened. They can be changed. They can be removed. They can be done anything at any time right now, whether it is Ruto in power or whoever wants to, Raila or Ruto or who. It's only that Uhuru Kenyatta, the time limit is not there. But time limit, if you wanted to inconvenience people at the moment, so that the parliament sits 24 hours, he could now go to Article 256. 256, yes. And now implement some of the things. You can now use parliament without going to the referendum. So those who think they have now, they are celebrating, not yet. They can, the power, the Supreme Court gives now, the president can look at Article 256 and ask the parliament that allow this place elections will be in a violent manner. This place corruption is killing people at the moment. Can you touch that law of corruption and change it now before the parliament closes down? Members of parliament are going to sit up to the last day because a state of emergency could occur. I don't know whether you know about it. The state of emergency could occur anytime. In case there is war, you must call parliament even at the last hour if you are going to make your elections the following morning. Because you will call parliament to sit and pass a motion to give the president the powers to invoke the powers for him to send troops to safeguard Kenya from external enemy. He has to get permission. So parliament will sit up. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to, before even we delve further, I had seen a tweet from your brother, Mr. Mzee Atwoli. Yes. And he was telling people how they need to listen to the real judgment. The other judgment was political. Now, comparing today's judgment and the judgment of High Court and Court of Appeal, the language was completely different. Can you comment on that? I saw even the CJ opening remarks, His Excellency, the Commander-in-Chief, the language, okay, the way they were addressing the president and other people in that was completely different from the way High Court and Court of Appeal handled it. What is your take?
I just want to tell you that the president, the judge, the chief justice, you notice that every judge who was opening was thanking the handshake. You notice that. and they said the handshake, in their preamble, every preamble that they were opening up, every preamble, they first talked about the handshake came about. The Chief Justice was narrating how, or who narrated how on the same day he was being sworn in, was the day he was being elected, was the day when the handshake took place. It's a very significant milestone for the people of Kenya. And that is very, very important. So the language today is a language of respect. That's how the courts must work. You cannot bring your personal issues and import them. I like the language of Justice Ndungu Njoki, or Njoki Ndungu, when she said they even imported words. The judges in the Supreme Court imported words that are not in the Constitution. You saw some words that were being used. Some words like the promoter. There is nowhere in the Constitution of Kenya which says there will be a promoter. These guys went and coined their own language.
No. I think she said promoter is there. The initiator. Initiator is
Initiator, sorry.
There.
Initiator. Yes. And they went on saying, who is the initiator? It is not in the law. The promoter is there. The proposal is there. Those who propose. So
yeah, she said that they created words and then they went going on to explain them instead of dwelling on the words that are in the Constitution. Yeah,
exactly. So when you look at that type of ruling, what is correct to say, the real ruling is coming. I think Atwal is meaning that the ruling is coming on 9th of August. That's what he must be meaning. And the real ruling will come out when it is being read by people. People will see the goodness of why people went to court, why there was an appeal. Because if you had to, retain the constituency issue, the IEBC issue, then there would be no election. They had to overrun that. Say the IEBC was fully constituted. You see, in order to run an election. You see, the judges also this time in the Supreme Court have not acted out of their the people's feelings. They knew very well that if you touch such an article, remove it and say, we don't agree that IEBC was not fully constituted, then it means themselves, even the Chief Justice, should resign. How did he elect people on this JSC? They were elected by the Electoral Commission. So if it was not fully constituted, why did you accept to take part in elections? The LSK itself of Harvey was supervision was done by the whole Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission. So there are certain things that the judges had to look at, the good side and the bad side, and they made a ruling.
Yeah, I heard Justice Smoking Wanjala saying that on that issue to do with quorum, they relied on a statutory provision and overwriting the constitutional majesty, which was not right. Yeah, now you have touched on Justice Njoki Ndungu. She was one of the, we say the majority have their way and the minority have their say. She was one of the minority voice, yet she spoke out candidly, and many people, I think, were excited about what she was saying. She's, I think, the only one who took a different tangent on the issue to do with popular initiative. And she disagreed with the other learned judges and said that president can do a popular initiative because he has delegated responsibility. What is your take?
The president is a voter. And he's a Kenyan. He's a human being. I agree with Njoki. But since this is a Supreme Court, the only other advancement, which if I were Kenyan, and I'm a Commonwealth person, I can take this judgment and I go to Arusha. I'll overturn it. The president or go to African Court of Justice in Abidjan or Gambia. I'll overturn it. I'm telling you, Wekesa. A president is a human being. Is a Kenyan. When you say, okay, how will Wanjiku, because Wanjala talked of Wanjiku-nization, we are doing words like Wanjiku, earthquake, volcano. Let me also go to Wanjala and that critic. How will Wanjiku collect 1 million signatures? He will need, Wanjiku will need money, will need resources to be able to collect 1 million signatures. Therefore, how there is no provision in the Constitution that Wanjiku can initiate a poor lady in Bungoma can come and collect 1 million signatures without the help. There must be somebody to help. Unless the judges are telling us that you can help clandestinely and hide and give the woman money quietly, which the president could not do, the government they could not do otherwise. They could have given the money quietly to Ene Wanjiku and sat back. Still, it could have what could they have said? But the president, the government was very clear that this is a good proposal. The president was elected by people. He's also people. He's part of the people. We, the people. When we say we, the people, do we exclude the president? Let me ask. Do we exclude the president? The president is not we people. The strength of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya lies in the
part of the people.
Yes, the strength of this Constitution.
He's part of the people.
Yeah,
and he's part of the people, and I think Justice Joaquin Dung also touched on the issue that when you look at the history of Kenyan amendments, during the era of Moi, the amendments were done through parliament because he was a member of parliament. Even Kibaki, he took the route of parliament because he was a member of parliament and it was easier. And for this reason, Uhuru could not take that route because he's not part of the parliament. Yeah, I thought I should mention that as we continue.
No, you are right. That's why I'm saying if I were a Kenyan, I would take these documents and go further and seek a clarification, an opinion from another court higher than that. We have a court of East Africa, East African court in Arusha. They are not going to punish anybody. I want just to seek an opinion whether the president is not. And in fact, I'm in the Commonwealth. I can take it anywhere in the Commonwealth. I can take it to the Old Bailey in London and seek an interpretation. Seeking an interpretation, I'm not accusing anybody. I can take it to Arusha and seek. I can take it to African Court of Human Rights. If you have injured the president, it's human rights to participate in an event of cleaning a country, making a country better. We can go ahead. And believe me or not, there might be people thinking of doing so. And I would be one of those who can carry those documents. Because when you talk about the other presidents, which you are giving a president was, Moi was in parliament, Kibaki was in parliament. They sit as members of parliament. But the 2010 constitution does not allow the president to sit in parliament. He's a stranger in parliament only when he becomes a member when he's addressing them. As soon as he finishes his address, he leaves and he becomes a stranger to the parliament, to the House of Parliament, both of them. So there is a casoro there, which people can follow up and find out. Kenyans can follow up and find out what they can do for further interpretation, because you'll be denying some people rights in Kenya. When he's voting, is his vote not counted? Why is his vote not rejected? So when you read that document of mine in Capital Talk, Capital FM radio, there's a document that I wrote. I'll send you a copy, Wanjala, for your people, so that you put it on your website. Let people read. I analyzed these events after the 5 judges had erred. I said they lied on a number of things, and their lies have been found in most of these places, the rulings that have been quashed. You know, they quashed 5 good rulings. It's a good one. 5 of them were overturned. Yeah, because the lower court almost finished everything, heaped everything. Everything was bad in the lower court. You see, those 2 lower courts became very vindictive. So the 5 were overturned. Basic structure, you cut short participation. Now, how do you know? How do you say you are choose a person and make a ruling when you have not? You have already put an injunction that the Speaker of National, the IEBC chairman, should not canvass this bill further. Then you go and choose him and make a ruling. You know, obnoxious way of dealing with things. That was very insincere of the High Court, the Court of Appeal.
Yeah, I also noticed something in the ruling. I think it was the first one by the CJ. She talked about the courts, the 2 courts, Court of Appeal and High Court, were trying to create a 4th pathway to constitutional amendment. In other words,
Yes.
they were quashing what the president and the prime minister did, but in their own wisdom trying to impose another way of doing it. Can you explain to us what she meant?
She meant the court was trying to create a pathway for amending the constitution as judges themselves. Yet they were not supposed to create a 4th pathway. Their role is a custodial role, custodians of the law. They simply interpret the law as by Montesquieu doctrine of separation of powers, separation, the doctrine of the executive, the parliament, and the judicial. But then, in this separation, the judges of the appeal court tried to go further. They tried to usurp powers of the parliament, creating their 4th window of victimizing Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. You know, because that is when you can see how, if you have been, paid, if you're a mercenary, when you have already killed, you have been hired to go and overthrow a government in Guinea-Bissau. Then you kill everybody, then you want to kill yourself. You know, that's what the court was trying to do. Because you want to justify that we have actually exhausted everything and we are here to say we did a good job. So they got, after nullifying all these things, they went further to now create another way to tell the world to go political. If the fourth pathway was political, it became called political Wekesa. That they touched on things, even saying the president, his name is not called Uhuru, is called Uhuru Kenyatta. You know, that is now you are creating a pathway of insulting, besmirching, belittling the head of state. Yet you know by the Constitution of Republic of Kenya, is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Republic of Kenya, the president, His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. The judges in the Supreme Court went further to call him just Uhuru Kenyatta. No judge in that place called the president Uhuru Kenyatta. Called him President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, commander-in-chief. So you see, it shows the judiciary is
Because
rotten.
they were, and we should not leave this one out. We should not leave this one out. They created that because they wanted to make him a citizen and then accuse him as a citizen and then take him to court as a citizen, which the Supreme Court denied that he is always, I think in the words of Justice Smoking Wanjala, he is always the president until he leaves power.
Yes. So at one time you are saying the president can be sued. So they created a fourth pathway to say this man became a civilian. Therefore, you can catch him for Harvey. You know, Harvey was quick. They wanted to go with a motion to say now he can be sued, until the Attorney General had to move very quickly to an appeal, because they were going to say we can sue Kenyatta for anything. So how many people in Kenya would now sue their president because they don't have water in Masabit? Their camels are dying. They would sue the president. How many people would sue the president because rain is not there? Very many. You are 50 million Kenyans. Would you be suing the president because the transport is not there, the buses are not coming? So that type of pathways is what kills Africa. So the judges, the Supreme Court put a halt to those type of pathways.
There's
Yes.
something else that Justice Joaquin Dung brought out. I'm not a learned friend of the law, but you can help me understand what she was trying to imply. When
Yes.
she was saying that you cannot call a bill unconstitutional because she doesn't know which part of the law it is affecting, you have to wait until the bill is maybe becomes an act or whatever, and then you can, as a judge, you can say that part of the constitution or part of that act is against the constitution. But when it is still a bill, you cannot call it unconstitutional. Help me understand what she was saying.
It's simply, Wekesa and the viewers, the bill, you see, the Court of Appeal, or the High Court, went and hammered a raw bill. The BBI was going on. They came out in the middle, even went to stop it. So what the appeal court should have done was to overrun that. But the appeal court upheld the illegality that was in the court, in the High Court, because there was an illegality of stopping something that is not mature. It's like a chicken is still walking, then you plan water to roast it, or you plan fire, you cut it in the middle before it can even become meat to be eaten. I don't know whether your viewers are seeing that. a calf has just come out of the mother's womb and you want to eat it instead of eating the mother. Why don't you wait until this calf is grown up and mature? Then you can cut it and collect, put the fire and eat it, roast it. So the judges operated very badly in a mafia way. This thing was not even complete. They went and stopped the IEBC not to do anything. And at the same time, they came and condemned the IEBC, you see, which had not even reached anywhere. So how could you determine? That's why Njoki was saying, how do you determine about a bill being illegal when you have not even known which section of the Constitution of Kenya it has, offended? What is the offendable action here on the Constitution? It is not yet a bill. It has not yet been brought. It has not. You have stopped it anymore. You have put injunctions on it. How does it become an offense in the Constitution? Where has it been? Really, there is a word one judge used, a theater of absurdity. I think you heard some word like that. This was a theater of absurdity. That some of these things in these two courts, where you have one judge, Murima, giving injunctions, waiting for injunctions. The law in Kenya must be changed. The law in Kenya must be changed. This constitution was cut and paste. People did an NGO constitution, a Kuro Court and a Kegoro. Let us to a constitution and a Boya. They brought a constitution for you people, which is an American constitution. You have not yet reached this stage. That's why you are having difficulties in your governance. Yes. I've never seen.
Yeah, and on that.
Yes, go
yes,
ahead.
on that issue of unconstitutionalism, I think Justice Lenaola went a step ahead. I said that while the process while President initiating a popular initiative is unconstitutional in his own view, he also went ahead and said that, according to him, he did not initiate. So we cannot say that he did an constitutional thing, or it may be unconstitutional, but he did not do it. Based on what he, of course, judges based on the material evidence brought before them. But some of them, you see, they used their own innuendos and imagination that he did this, he did that. But based on the information that was submitted before the court, he said, according to us, the promoters were Junet Mohammed and the other guy was what?
Was Waweru.
The former.
Waweru.
Yes, so he said that according to him, he did not do it. Yeah, you can comment on that, even as we.
Because there is no clear evidence that the president got money and gave, apart from the president selecting a committee that was to go around the country to find out. They recommended to find out about the 9 points why Kenya must be united before they do an election. That is the role the president played, that is what the Nora was bringing from there. There was nothing that he did wrong because he followed the law in appointing the commission that can collect views of Kenyans. Now, when they came out, the commission came out with proposals, there was no, again, law that the president broke here by him participating openly, telling I am here. I have given you money to go because you must facilitate. The president called the IEBC chairperson, called the speaker. The IEBC called the speaker and gave the document. The president gazetted for the IEBC. So there is no illegality there as long as the documents arrived. That's what they are meaning. That's what the NOLA is meaning. There is nothing he did which he has not committed any, because if there was any committal of a crime, the Supreme Court could recommend for remedy. But the Supreme Court just said it was not unconstitutional. There is nothing that I am speaking which is very clear. It is very, very clear here. We are talking on the things that I can see somebody saying, I am not speaking, I'm speaking facts. The president did not commit anything. And we are interpreting what the judges said. The NOLA said, as far as if there was a crime that maybe the president committed, the Supreme Court would have punished him, would have recommended for either an investigation. I'm telling you, would have invited for and said, let's now punish the president because he violated a section of the Constitution. But they did, because of that, they have just given an opinion that the BBI can be revived. But that BBI can only be revived when an ordinary Wanjiku, Nafura, Wanyonyi, Wekesa can start collecting signatures, or go to section 256 article, use the parliament, change a parliamentary vote, ask for referendum, it will be given. That is all what the opinion of the Supreme Court today. That's what they have said. That never should the president again get involved after he has selected a commission of inquiry. Because if you have selected a commission of inquiry to collect evidence, again, you don't become, the government facilitates, not you. That is all what the technicality. It is not that the BBI is a bad thing, it is a technicality. Yes.
Thank you. Dear viewers, you can, I'm inviting 1 or 2, 3 people to come and ask their questions. I will also pick your question if you drop it in the comment section. We are on the last part of this discussion.
Another thing, Wekesa, is before the Kenyans come in to ask questions, you Kenyans, you are the losers. Today's ruling, you are the losers. Because Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga wanted to unite this country before you go to an election.
Yeah, as you speak, you will also delve on that comment, why we need to celebrate or not celebrate the judgment based on what happened. Yeah.
You celebrate over, you are celebrating, but tomorrow, if there is a contest and there is a fight over this election, God forbid, is when you remember that you needed this BBI. I am sure if this BBI passed through and it is done in the future by any government that will be in power, Kenya will find stability after elections. The BBI was seeking to remove power, central to remove the presidency. The presidency in Kenya is the most worrying phenomenon I have ever come across. It is so attractive. In fact, people don't talk about the MPs. They talk about the presidential, because the thing has become so powerful that once you are a president in Kenya, the whole world will listen to you. Even nuclear weapons cannot work. So this BBI was seeking to remove some powers. Like if you distribute the question of inclusivity, every part of Kenya is included. Somewhere, someone comes from their part to be known as the speaker, the deputy speaker, the deputy chief justice, the deputy this one, the prime minister, the minister. Another point which in Kenya you need to change the constitution is the question of ministers. Ministers, now the next government which comes in in power has to change such that the ministers can come to cabinet. Such that the ministers can come to cabinet. If you don't have ministers in the cabinet, Wekesa, how are you going to hold accountability? You need to ask the minister what happened here, what happened there, what happened here, what happened there. That is going to happen. Any government, whichever one, which I believe Azimio is going to have it. Azimio will win. Right? There's another thing that I want to take this opportunity to tell my Azimio people. Let's not waste time on people who are pulling us back. Let's sharpen ourselves. Let's come also back in the social media. Many of you are not attacking. When I bring some topics in the social media, come and we stick there. Our accounts are not fake. Like a courier, Moses Courier's account, he put something and 8,000 people manipulated, is hacked. My account is very pure, very good. Come there and we discuss and balance and fight the war. War is not fought only by rally. War is fought by social media now. And let's do it. We are not cooperating in Azimio.
Now talking about account, huh? I saw you post something. Was it 2-3 days ago? I think it's time to change strategy. I saw even Morade post the same. What do you think? What do you mean by it's time to change strategy? Is it that the tactics of Azimio or the president and the prime minister are not working? Or is it time to take it to a different level? What did you mean?
We don't want to tell our opponents, but too much. But time has come for us in Azimio, who have accepted and said Raila Amolo Odinga will be the man, whether we lose or we win, he's our man. And that's that. That is the Uhuru Kenyatta side, like my place, like me. I'm a friend. I'm not a voter in Kenya, but I'm a friend and I'm a very good influencer. I have influence, I have votes. You'll be shocked that I might be having like a million votes in Kenya. People who vote because they see me. They see me talk about the truth here. Someone goes to talk and say, the other man from Uganda talked very well. And he gives a vote. Wekesa, if you count those type of votes, they make somebody have an election. I talk the truth. For us, we need to change strategy now. Our communication network, communication activities are not perfect. Let's agree on that, Wekesa. Azimio needs to pull out its socks. Azimio needs to be everywhere. We should be almost everywhere on the social media, on television. We should now package our people who could be on television. One is on K27, K24, another one 47, another one BBC, another one. Let's package. Nobody is packaging that. And that is why I was telling people, let's change now. Let's change the strategy. We are following. We are going too much of sitting inside hotels. Let's open up. Let's separate in small groups. Wekesa and I could be in Mombasa tomorrow. Another group is in Mombasa. We are meeting people there. We have our t-shirts. We go to a hotel. We go to a place. There will be other people, like a 10 or 5 youths. Let's mobilize our fellow youths. Tell Mombasa people we are coming. We want to sit down and have coffee. We tell them we need now to go and break what Ruto has been pumping in people's, bewitching them of Maji rebellion. Because I don't believe Ruto has anything apart from Maji rebellion. Medicine, water that is sprinkles on people. To tell them a wheelbarrow is very good and they accept that a wheelbarrow is better than a laptop. So for me, Matsanga, that is the way I think. That's why I was saying change our communication, our strategy. There are some that I cannot tell. They are here also on this platform listening. So I can't tell that, but I will try to find the Prime Minister and the others, Mio leaders, the president. I will have filed, I've sent in notes. I am just a good friend, like the Chinese Communist Party.
Thank you. Juma is saying that Matsanga, I like your style. You always call a spade a spade. Bajo says Uhuru and Raila meant well for Kenya, only that the process, especially initiation, participation, and fee allocation, I think, is it fee allocation and distribution of 70 new constituencies? Yeah, I think he's just still talking about the process. I wanted you also to just mention in passing, now that we have closed the nominations and the parties, we hear Jubilee was among the top who got the aspirants. How do you see these things going to play out? The people who initially we thought they have influence on the mountain, like Moses Kuria, ended up with 29 aspirants, and Jibepe with around 4. How do you see this playing out? They have now reframed it that Jubilee is buying voters or buying aspirants. The other day asked if Jubilee is buying aspirants. Is there not someone selling them? Because you buy what is sellable.
Why don't they buy?
Okay, comment on that.
When they say Jubilee is buying aspirants, it means they also bought. They bought people to go into their parties. So where is it that there's proof that Jubilee is buying aspirants? Let me tell you, I've told people, and I want to tell Ruto here. Ruto will cry tears. I'm not like Mutahi Nguni. I am a man who speaks my mind direct. Ruto is gonna, on mountain, when he thinks the mountain will vote Ruto. The Rio campaign has not started. People have not started the Rio. You can see the real thing, smaller thing of you insulting their child, insulting their man. Even if you think they don't like him, they like him. You cannot go there and insult the president and again. Time is going to come that people like a courier might not even be able to campaign in some places, in that place. When the whole thing becomes, there are so many ways that, are you shocked that there was a report that came out recently last week that there are more registered party members than voters? Did you see that report? So it means that people, Korea has been, UDA has been registering members, but not voters. Time is going to come. The month of August is a rainy season. Some people will sleep up to about 6 o'clock. Some people will not come down to vote. There will be a voter apathy. There are so many ways that elections can become difficult for Ruto. There could be voter apathy in those regions. And so, for me, that's why I was telling you, let's change the strategy. Let's consolidate whatever we have outside. And let's have teams to go inside here. Pick what we can. And take out and say, sure, this is what we have. And bag it. Then we wait. We leave the man who said he will get the 2 million voters of Kiambu coming to him to vote for him. Walayamu, they might not. They might not.
Okay. Yeah, this morning I had Senator Matangi. He was saying that I think in the fear of nominations that are coming, he was saying that Deep State has planted candidates in UDA, and so that the popular candidates cannot win. So how else can Deep State plant candidates and forget people who have been working with them, like Wamatangi himself? Can you explain to us?
First of all, Wamatangi should go and sort his matters with the wife before he sorts matters with Kenyatta. Because for me, Matsanga, I don't see why, if you have been defeated, your wife has run away from you and you have married Ruto's cousin, then you change. You go ahead, marry and stay there. Wamatangi should set, if the matter of a wife defeats you, who are you to lecture to Uhuru Kenyatta? Eh? Those are people, I cannot spare them on any TV. Wamatangi is a man who had a bank for Ruto in Intercontinental Safes. He used to collect money there to give people during the Uhuru term number 1. He used to have a safe, permanent safe. For all these deals, for all these senators bribing them to overturn the governor, I know everything. Huyu anazungumza nini huyu? We let him just go there because he has a wife now who is Ruto's cousin, a cousin sister from Tarubo. Yes, that's why Wamatangi has changed. He changed because he has pressure. He can't go back home. The wife would say, why are you doing this to my brother? Ambie watu wa ukweli. Does he have his wife? His wife left him and they separated. He married Ruto's cousin called Dr. Dorothy. So what is the problem? Let them enjoy things but not to talk about Uhuru. Me, when I hear you talk about Uhuru, we go down. Because he cannot defend himself. He's the president. We are his friends. We feel so bad for Wamatangi, who has been even eating with us.
Yeah, finally, there was when Baba was watching the judgment, I think the final message he shared to people is that he accepts the verdict, but we have an election to win. So that is where our focus is. And I would like you to rally Kenyans behind Azimio, even as we come to a close of this. We want to make this session to be always 1 to 1.5 hours so that we can join the other open discussion for politics with everybody. So you can make your final remarks and rally voters. They can put BBI temporarily behind and focus on what is coming in 4 months' time. The other issues will sort themselves out.
Yes. Thank you very much, viewers. As all Azimio supporters, all friends, sympathizers of Azimio, the strategy is now we break ourselves into smaller groups. Wherever you are across Kenya, start talking to people, especially those who are not yet convinced. Start talking to people who might not be able to understand that the only way to have a good country is to have a country of unity or purpose. If the country of unity or purpose is not there, you might not have elections. Your elections might not be good because people will fight. If we go the way we are going, we had wanted BBI, let's leave it behind. But it will be revived. It has opened a channel where we can go and change the constitution to have a better Kenya for tomorrow. But from now onwards, as Mio people support Raila Odinga, he's a man who has got safe hands. And these safe hands can lead East African integration. We are looking for people who are not warmongers. We are not looking for warmongers. Like a Ruto who is telling people that Mimi, do you know me? I cannot, who can steal my vote? That is warmongering. Don't vote a man who is not even caring about his own people who are being killed in Capedo Triangle and the Siguta Valley and the Keio Valley. He's busy campaigning, looking for votes, rotating in the same place, going back. But people, he has not, why can't he go and hold rallies there where people are being killed and maybe people will run away and listen to him? So vote, go into smaller groups now. Start doing it now. Don't waste time. There's no more time. Starting from tomorrow, break into smaller groups. Come on the media platforms of ours, our pages. I am always writing something that tickles Ruto. Let's counter back. Let's counter back a Tumbi and a group malcontents of inferiority complex. Let's do that. We shall defeat them. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, viewers. As we come to the close of this short program, I just want to say that the BBI ruling can be a blessing in disguise for the Asmio team. One, there are those who initially they viewed like Raila cannot win without a team being given promised prime minister, deputy. But right now he has done his campaigns and he's already leading without those posts. So that even proves that Raila doesn't need to dish out the positions to other candidates in order to be elected. Kenyans love him and they will give him an opportunity. The second thing that is a blessing in disguise is that you see, most people had demonized BBI, but when it went to even to Court of Appeal, it was expanded to have 21 items. Now, the Supreme Court has reduced it to 7 items, and then out of the 7 items, I think the appellants got 5 out of 7, which is 71 pass. So the only remaining issues have nothing to do with the content of the BBI. They only dwelled on the procedural issues, which in my own view is that they have given BBI a clean bill of health. They only need to reorganize the procedure and accomplish what the details that are entailed in that document. So this can be something that can be accomplished in the first even 1 year of the new government, if it at all they want to implement BBI, because most of the things have been achieved. Is only the procedure and the process that has to be made right. Otherwise, I tell you, even the side that is celebrating that BBI has fallen, they have something to lose. Because if there were all those positions they are saying they don't want, they will not be struggling on what Mudavadi, what Wetangula, what Rigathi Gachagua will get or whatever. They will be sorted. Even people like Kina Moses who are angling to, were working around KAA, knowing that if such positions arise, then they are able to bargain. So either way, you may win or lose. So otherwise, let's continue with the debate. There is another debate that has already begun, the general current affairs in politics happening. So you can switch to the other side and proceed with the discussion. Otherwise, have a good night. Let's meet here next time. Thank you for our guests. Yeah, thank you also for the viewers and those who have generously made their contribution through the comment section. I see some watching us from Qatar, Uganda, from different Tanzania, different parts of the country, and we appreciate your contribution. Have a lovely night. Good night all.